Hey guys, as you can see, the banner I talked about pretty recently is now out already, a lot sooner than expected. I did get the dates about like a day or two ago, but obviously I haven't been making videos because I've been kind of sick, but we have it already. So here's the should you summon. I'll try to keep it fairly quick, but we might get off the rails because I have a lot of things to cover in this video. So bear with me here. But first, this video is sponsored by Smile One. So Smile One is the official third-party payment platform for the game, where you can go and get discounted W Gold. As you can see, this is where you go to. You can click the link in the description for my affiliate links if you want to support me. Go here, you buy anything, and everything has a permanent discount that never goes away. And if you want to save some money, then it's definitely worth going for. And also from the 12th to the 21st of July, there will be a top-up event where when you reach certain milestones of spending, then you will get additional rewards, which is pretty cool. So if you want to get a little bit more bang for your buck, go to Smile One using my link. And yeah, let's get back to the video. But anyways, so let's start off with the kind of highlight, which is the fact that this is a leaked banner that I talked about a little while back. This is already out. And this means that the other banners also are coming out. And I know that because I could just tell you, next week we are going to have the Glacius Artemis, the Glacius Hatset banner, and then the week, and that exact same week, we're going to have the Ingrid Thalin banner, much sooner than expected. But I mean, it's what happens, right? It's kind of crazy, and that kind of devalues this banner a little bit purely because they are very, very close together. But I mean, it's still a crazy good banner. So to start off with the 2x, I'm going to say the same thing I say in every single video that I do a should you summon on, and that is only pull on this if you are early game, essentially. If you're like in your first 4 or so months, you have not a lot of heroes, you need more quantity over quality, go for the 2x banner. And that is fine, because you can kind of spare getting things like Kineza, because you're going to use Kineza. She's not bad for you. But if you're a little later in the game and you have like a couple okay options, or even just like decent options, then the 2x banner is going to be a little worse. Divines, though, are always pretty worth it on 2x banners. That's just how it goes. I mean, if you look at this, it's like a a 6% chance. If I were to pull it, which I am, like, you're not really going to get much here, right? That's just what. Estrid's rarer than legendaries. Sorry. A little off the rails there. I've only ever pulled 3 Estrid in my life. That is ridiculous. But that's beside the point. You get the idea. These are banners that are more for early on than later on. Obviously, you can pull on them whenever. There's nothing wrong with pulling on them in any way, shape, or form. But I just personally do not fully recommend it compared to some other stuff. So that is my perspective there, and it will remain being my perspective until the end of time. But now we go on to the 15x banner. And this 15x banner is very, very good. It's good for a couple reasons, and those couple reasons is purely the legendaries. The epics are pretty negligible, but I will go into them first. Number one, we have Lightlock, who is fusible. He is worth less coins in the epic shop, and now that the epic shop got changed to have some actual decent stuff, it actually takes a decent amount of resources. Like, look at this, 1,000. This is 800 every 2 weeks. This is 150. I should probably buy this actually. Like, you're gonna run out after a while, so Lightlock just kind of makes it harder to build that up. And then we have Maul, who's probably like a top 10 epic. He's one of the best epics in the game, easily. He's very, very good, really good AoE marksman. I do think that if you're pulling on this banner, you probably have him already, but if you do not, this is definitely a good place to get him. Evelyn here is used for Microfusion, so if you do not have her yet, definitely pull for her to get the Microfusion going. But now we get to the legendaries, which is kind of the highlight. Number one is Zilitu. Zilitu was my most wanted fighter for the first, like, 8 months I played the game. And then I ended up pulling her from a random Guild Boss Divine on a random 2x when I was on call with Ivy for a collab we did. And when I was saying like goodbyes, I just pulled it on my phone, hit a Zilitu. It was my most wanted hero. It was so funny. But Zilitu is good in a lot of areas. She seems to be getting a lot better with new content because she is one of the best, if not the best, magic fighter, at least for single target concentrated magic fighter damage. And she remains to be very, very strong. She is still one of, if not the best, Guild Boss 1 champions, as you can see over here. If you look, like, we got Zilitu on a lot of these top teams. She's no longer top meta, but you will see her in a lot of these different teams. She's very easy to use as long as you have Pyros or Twin Fiend, which you should if you're getting Zilitu, or at least you can work towards that eventually. Then Zilitu is going to be very, very good. Her A3 also is important to mention because it is very, very strong. Zilitu is also really solid for Titanic Ruins. She is definitely viable as hell. You're not going to see her much in the top leaderboards. She's very, very not great for most 120k teams, but she's still used, as you can see right here. 120k, 120k, stuff like that. So she's very good there. She's very good for Gear Dungeon 2, especially the later stages. Not the last two stages, but the ones before that. She's very, very, very good. She can be used in Gear 3. She can be used in Gear 1. You get the kind of idea. I'm not really going to cover you guys with too much information there. Zilitu's good. She remains to be good. She probably will continue to be good. And if you have Twin Fiend or Sulkadins, or you want to be factions, or you want to be any like content she's okay in, definitely she is a good option. Now we go over Artemis. Artemis is going to be gone through a little faster. He's an okay healer, pretty mediocre healer, honestly, but his main draw is his anti-healing specifically. He does healing, he does anti-heal. Artemis, I feel like, got a little overhyped a bit, but he's still pretty solid. I would say he's only really good in Gear 1 and Gear Dungeon 1, but where he excels, he really, really excels. Artemis kind of makes Gear 1 a cakewalk. All you just need is... Also, so many Praetus teams. All you really need is anti-healer, aka Artemis, and then you just need like DPS, and then you've kind of won. You just get Dolores, you get some Rage Regen too, and then you win. And that's kind of all, you know? Like, he's incredibly broken. He's also the best anti-healer for Gear Dungeon 1, and generally, 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to have an anti-healer. As you can see, the teams that are beating this are really, really strong, and they're almost all using Artemis, because Artemis is just so damn good. You build him like a DPS, he does DPS damage, he heals your tanks a lot if you're using the tank strat on the bottom, which is the easiest way to do it. And overall, he's just the GOAT. But that is realistically all he's good for. He can be used in Void Rift just fine, but so can most heroes in the game, so I don't really consider it that much, but that is a good area for him. Especially, he's a very solid healer is what I am trying to say. So, to go overall on the banner and this banner week, and also go over the stuff in the future, next banner, aka next week, and maybe even the week after that, I think it is next week, but I did not double check, but it is in the next week or two, most likely next week. We are having a Hatchet Glacius banner, which means that this banner is automatically worse because Hatchet Glacius is absurd, ridiculous, and broken as hell. So my verdict here is do not pull for the average player. If you do not have any of the heroes that I just mentioned, do not pull on this one unless you've been craving Zilitu and Artemis for a while. I know that is probably a weird thing to say considering that you should pull on this. It's just... Hatchet banner is so unbelievably good because she's so incredibly rare. Because if you didn't know, she's in the ultra rare bucket, which means that she has by far the lowest rates out of any hero except for 2 lords. Not even all the lords in the normal pool, just 2 of them. So she's so rare that whenever she's rated up, she gets rated up by like 50x. She's also one of the best normal heroes, if not the best normal hero. By normal, I mean normal pool. And it's impossible to pass up that banner. So as much as Zilitu and Artemis are both top tiers in the game, I do think it is better to save for a chance at Hatchet if you do not have any of them. If you do have either of these two, or both of these two, I would obviously skip. If you do not have either, but you have Hatchet, Hatchet's Awakenings are pretty mediocre, so therefore I would pull on this. We do not know any banners past the 2 that I just mentioned in the normal banners, so just keep that in mind. So basically, it's up to you, but if you are struggling on Guild Boss, Zilitu is the queen of Guild Boss 1. If you're struggling on Gear 1 or Gear Dungeon 1, Artemis is great. But if you want something versatile, easy to use, great in all content in the game, incredibly rare, so you're barely ever going to pull her unless it's a raid up, then save for the Hatchet banner. That is my verdict, and if you do not agree, that is fine. Comment down below what you do not agree with, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you would like, but there is no pressure, of course. And that is it for me. Destined signing out.